probably seen footage of the ABBA Voyage show by now, where ABBA perform as digital versions of themselves. But my question is whether it's a show or whether you can count it as a proper concert. I think any great concert is when you have an emotional connection to the performer, and I think it definitely happened in the ABBA Voyage show. The show itself is super impressive. You've got these ABBA avatars playing along with a live band, but they broke up the show a bit so you weren't just watching the same thing for the whole time. And some of those elements I didn't think worked quite as well. You had something which I thought was sort of like outtakes from a CGI film, which was telling some kind of story. I didn't really follow that. There was another bit where they just literally used footage from the Eurovision 1974, I think, and I didn't particularly think that was great, but the people I was with thought it was really excellent. For one song, the avatars walked off stage and the live band took over. For me, that was the point in the gig which really showed that it was actually a proper concert rather than just a show. And you might think that I'm going to say that the live band was fantastic and blew everything out of the water, but it wasn't quite like that. They were just a really great covers band, probably what you'd expect. So they were playing these great songs, but there was no real connection to the artist. And then the avatars walked back on stage, and you sort of, I felt a real emotional connection to some of these songs. It was almost like seeing the band back in the late 70s, back in their heyday. For me, the highlights particularly were SOS, which actually was super emotional for me, and I was quite taken by surprise by that, and Dancing Queen. It made you feel like the band were really there. And so at that point, you realise that this was a concert and it wasn't just a show. Definitely would highly recommend seeing ABBA Voyage if you can.